Hello, Canastota. I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of Canastota Central Schools, and this is the weekly video update for Wednesday, November 25th. Well, we've made it to Thanksgiving in this highly unusual school year. As I tape this message on Wednesday afternoon, I'm happy to say that we plan to have all 4 of our buildings open for in-person instruction once again beginning next Monday, November 30th. Obviously, things change quickly in this current environment that we're operating in, but again, we plan to be back in person next week. As you've seen in the news, the yellow and even orange zones are closing in on us, particularly as we look to our neighbors to the west in Onondaga County. In the event that we at some point find ourselves in a yellow zone, we still plan on being able to conduct in-person learning at our school. We're currently working out all of the logistics of what would need to happen under a yellow zone scenario. To refresh your memory, if districts wish to remain open while located in a yellow zone, they must conduct COVID testing on 20% of their in-person population each week, including staff and students. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in our recent survey that asked whether or not you would be receptive to allowing your child to be tested if you were in a yellow zone. Our staff members also participated in the survey and were also asked whether or not they would be receptive to this COVID testing. Again, your responses will inform our planning for how we would need to operate in a yellow zone scenario. Let's hope that somehow we avoid it, or at least hold it off as long as possible. But if and when we do, we will do everything we can to meet the requirements that will allow us to stay open for instruction. Additionally, we are reviewing the responses to part 2 of the survey, which asked about whether or not we should consider conducting remote instruction on snow days. Again, we are reviewing the responses from the survey, and we'll be sending out an update on our plan for snow days next week. Shifting gears away from COVID, I'd like to share some very positive news we received this week. As you know, last December, the Canastota community approved a $25.9 million capital project to address some much needed updates in our school facility. Once approved, we began the long process of working with our architects to plan out all of the work that was to occur under the project. And once completed, we submitted our plan to the State Education Department for review. It's important to note that while voter approval at the local level was certainly a huge part of the process, the project cannot move ahead until the State Education Department evaluates the detailed plan and indicates whether or not our plan has met all of their stringent requirements. This week, after months of planning, we received word that our project has final approval. This means that we can now move ahead to the next phase of the plan, which involves putting the project out to bid. In upcoming updates, we'll revisit the projected timeline for the capital project. But in the short term, this approval puts us on a timeline that will allow us for work to begin this spring, with work continuing into the summer and into the 2020-21 school year. The 21-22 school year. Again, a completed projected timeline will be forthcoming in future updates. Great news that our project is moving forward right on schedule. Finally, I'd like to spend a moment to tell you what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. I know it's easy this year to dwell on all of the ways that school and life in general is difficult. However, we really do have a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful for the students who have worked hard in spite of these unusual circumstances, and for their parents for being flexible as we are forced to make changes with sometimes very little notice. I'm thankful for the tremendous staff we have at the school who have found a way to get the job done in challenging times. We all have to do things differently, and that's not just people who work in education. I'm thankful that we have people who recognize that we all are doing things differently than in normal circumstances. And in many cases, that means many more challenges that need to be solved. But as professionals, they realize that this is our job and the students are worth the extra effort. I'm thankful that we are part of a school community that is second to none, one that will do whatever it takes to do the right thing for their students. And very importantly, we are part of a community that has pride. Pride is what makes us go the extra mile to make sure we do our job to the best of our ability. Pride is what moves us past simply making excuses and requires us to find solutions in spite of the obstacles. And it is the Canastota pride that will not only get us to the other side of this pandemic, but will help us to be better than ever once we get there. So let's be thankful for all the things that we do have, like our terrific school community. Please enjoy your Thanksgiving. Stay safe, stay healthy, and go Raiders.